what are the problems facing Israel? Sorry, something? Rockets, okay, rockets, terrorism, rockets fired from Gaza, rockets fired from southern Lebanon. We've had 2 wars in the last 3-4 years to face Hezbollah rockets from Lebanon, Hamas rockets from Gaza. Terrorism was much, much worse 2001, 2, 3, when there were bombs all the time. Much better since. Any particular reason? Come back to me on the other ideas in a second. Why do you think terrorism has declined? Security barrier, right? That we built reluctantly, I have to say, between us and most of the Palestinians, a little way into the West Bank, made it harder to get into Israel. You kept getting caught, reduces the motivation, etc. So that's much better. Okay, who else? Other ideas? Yeah. Iran. Okay. Anything else? Anyone else is going to say?
Surrounding Arab nations.
Okay.
Car crashes.
Car accidents. Okay, that's. Go on. No, I'm not laughing at all. That's a good one. Yeah.
Water shortages.
Water shortages. Okay, good answers. First of all, there are approximately 400 to 500, even more in some years, Israelis killed every year on the roads, and therefore, actually, the most stupid way that we're killing ourselves is emphatically through lousy driving. The difference between lousy driving and terrorism is that you like to believe that if you're a good enough and defensive enough driver, never mind how crazy everybody else is, you will reach your destination safely. Whereas with terrorism, which actually kills far fewer people, even in the worst years, you can be the most prudent person, and people changed their lifestyles here at the height of terrorism, stopped taking buses and didn't go shopping in the vegetable markets. But if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, no matter how good you are, you're in trouble. But it's a factor. It's good that you raised it. Okay, we also heard water shortages, which is really acute. Did you go to the Canaries on this trip? Yeah, you did, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, and could you tell that there used to be more water there? You could see, right? You can see the water is further out now. You're walking, right? It was a terribly dry winter last winter. What's it like in Cleveland, by the way, weather-wise?
We're getting your water.
You're getting our water? Can you do something
In the
about
form
that?
of snow.
If you could prevail upon the people who make the decisions, you don't need it, we really do. I come from England, like it doesn't rain for 2 days, they start telling people you can't water your garden, they'll start panicking, right? It rains every half an hour in Britain. It just didn't rain here last year. So water is a big, big problem. It's a big problem from a security point of view, though, and that's why you were right to raise it, because ultimately, if people don't have water, that's an aspect of an essential aspect of daily normal life. And you go to war for interests, including water. You could argue that part of the motivating factors for some of our wars was water. When we made peace with Jordan in the mid-1990s, one of the aspects of the deal was that we agreed water allocation, and we agreed to give them some more water. Because if you think we've got problems in Israel, think of the poor Jordanians who've got Iraq on one side and us on the other, and everybody hates them all the way around, and they've got no water. So that was a big factor with us with Jordan. Okay, one of you said the neighbours generally, and one of you said, who said Iran? You said Iran. Okay, neighbours generally. Let's go through the neighbours. Immediate neighbours of Israel are Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, and Egypt, and the Palestinians. Okay, who have we got peace with? Egypt. When? I know this isn't really meant to be a history lesson. It's very good because you know this stuff. It's good for you. Egypt, first country we made peace with. When approximately? Late 70s, right? Sadat came to Jerusalem in 1977. Out of the blue, nobody knew it was coming. We signed the deal 2 years later. We thought that would mean that we would normalise all our ties, because Egypt was the leading Arab nation. We thought everyone would follow suit. Of course, they didn't. Nothing really good happened until when did we make peace with Jordan? 94. Very good. Okay, the first time. King Hussein of Jordan was probably much more friendly to Israel than was commonly admitted. In 1973, he actually contacted our Prime Minister, who was Prime Minister of Israel in 73. Good, excellent. Contacted Goldenmeyer and said, hey, we're about to attack you, Mrs. Prime Minister, and we didn't believe it. Right? The King of Jordan told us you're about to get attacked. We were so cocky after the 6-day war, we didn't believe it, and we were attacked, and it was a very, very painful war for Israel. So King Hussein shakes hands with Yitzhak Rabin. 100 days later, in October 1994, we make peace, because basically both sides wanted it. Have we got a peace treaty with the others? Syria, Lebanon, Palestinians? No. We've come close a few times with the Syrians, less so with the Lebanese, who'll do whatever the Syrians tell them anyway, and we've been trying pretty relentlessly since the early 90s to reach an agreement with the Palestinians. So, yes, we've got problems on plenty of our borders, I would agree with you there, but the biggest threat is Iran. Okay, why are we worried about Iran?
Nuclear.
Okay, I didn't hear what anyone said, so. Nuclear weapons. Okay, well, yes, nuclear weapons is half of it, I would say.
They fund terrorist organizations.
Okay, they're funding and training. There are reports, there's all sorts of heavy, nasty stuff going down in Iran now, right? Now there are reports that among the people challenging the civilian protests, there's the Iranian security forces, and there's plenty of them, but there are reports that there are even Hamas people fighting with the Iranian regime, cracking down on the civilians there. That sounds ridiculous, right? Except that when you look a little closer at Hamas, you discover that lots of their people are trained routinely in Iran. They sneak out of Gaza. They make their way to training camps in Iran. It's very possible that there are, in fact, Palestinians fighting with the Iranian regime right now against the Iranian civilians. So yes, Iran because it's sponsoring terrorism, sending arms, encouraging terrorism. Iran because it's seeking a nuclear capability. Why else? I mean, what else is it about Iran? It's pretty obvious, yeah.
Oil.
We're panicked by Iran because of oil. I would say that Israel has other sources of oil, and therefore the nature of the West's confrontation with Iran also has an oil element. But I wouldn't say that's a chief.
Yeah, well, what I know is that because America is such an important ally to Israel, and America has such a high dependency on oil,
Yeah, okay, that's very true, and one of the ridiculousnesses, if you like, of American energy uses is that it is funding regimes that are actually hostile to the West, and that's certainly part of the fact. Okay, yes?
It's funding Syria.
It's allied with Syria, I would say. It's via